Some small businesses can't afford a directory listing, but they have skills and they have talent. Their talent matches the hard work and the know-how. Their workplace can be from the kitchen or a van. The business might be set up in a home or a garage. You don't find these providers listed in a book directory, but you can find them on eqicaribbean.com, the online tool you'll need to search for products and services. Because as long as you are searching, we'll be here to list them.
Right now I'm here with Chikosi Boardi. In basketball circles, we call him Clutch. We will not go into the reason why we call him Clutch. We just leave it at that. He is Clutch. Chikosi, first thing, welcome. I'm glad that you can make it with us here at coordinate session.
Thank you for having me.
Right. Okay, so where are you now, Chikosi?
I'm back in Canada from a trip in Florida.
Okay, so where the school where are you at?
I'm at London Basketball Academy, but I'm at Saunders Secondary School.
Oh, okay. All right. So I remember before you went to Canada, you had a stint in Spain. How did that go?
Say it went pretty well, not in the way of me getting through, but I'll say I learned a lot, and it was overall a good experience to experience the culture and everything else.
Okay, so how was the intensity in Spain? Was it comparable to Barbados? How was it?
The intensity is more laid back, I would say, but it's slower, but it's more serious.
Oh, okay. All right. So you were playing a tournament in Florida. How did that go?
I think my team fared pretty well. We learned a lot, and we just have to work on what we learned now.
Okay, and when you say you're a team, what about you? How do you think you performed?
How did I perform?
Yes.
I performed better, and I think I can perform better. So I just have to, but I still know I have to work on a lot of stuff. So I'll just keep working on the stuff and see how we do in the next set of games that we play.
Okay, that's good. What is a typical day for Clutch?
We usually have some type of morning practice, which is either a run, stairs, or skills training. The skills training is the earliest one, usually at 6:30, and the stairs would be the latest one, starting at 7:30. And then we have school from 8:20 to 2:40, and then after that we have practice, which usually starts at 5:30.
Okay, how long is practice?
Usually for an hour and a half.
Okay, so that hour and a half is being intensive.
Yes, yeah. And the coach usually the coach always has a practice plan where he, decides what he's going to do before the practice. So, we always organize, so we always can give everything, and there's not really much breaks other than the scheduled water break.
Okay. So how long you plan to be at this prep school?
For 2 years, 1 year after this one.
Oh, okay. And what is your next steps after that?
Would like to play for the one school in the US, but I still have to work towards that. And I know that I'm not ready for it right now, so I just have to keep looking at the competition I'm playing and seeing who is Division I level and try to get to that level so I can really compete against them and then give myself that opportunity.
Okay, so I remember back here, the last time I saw you were dropping 30 plus points on a team near Commermere. We will not go into that, but what I want to know from you is how is the competition? How do you see the competition here in Barbados and in Canada?
There would be a few players that could play here, but overall, Canada's much better. Like you can tell, they've been playing for a lot longer and been playing at a higher level for a lot longer, and they overall just take it more seriously. So, it's just better players overall. So,
Right. Go ahead.
That's it. That's it.
Right. And if you had to give some advice to the players back here, what advice would you give them?
Just keep working hard and talk to people that have gone through the system of getting overseas and have been overseas, and keep working hard at everything you do and get experience as much as possible, really.
Okay, so you are now a couple of months into a 2-year stay, and you're hoping to be, by any or 2 years, to be good enough to be at D1 school, D2 school, depending on how your level of skill.
Yeah.
Okay. One last question. I remember you were a wing guard in Barbados. So you're still playing at the wing?
Yeah, I'm playing the wing here. I'm trying to work on my handle to get towards my handle and my decision making to get towards being a point guard, because I would be better at my height.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, thank you very much, Chikosi, for joining us here at our recording session.
All right, thank you.
I want to wish you all the best going forward.
Thank you.
Right, and we will be checking in on you in a couple of months' time to see how things are going.
All right, cool.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Hey, once again, it is the Bajan Scout, Alan Pinder. What do you have for us, Alan, in terms of fantasy?
Well, Terry, compared to last week, we could see that Giannis seems to be trending back to the top of most of the fantasy leaderboards out there. He had a pretty good game against Indiana, then he had a great game against the Bulls, almost had a 40-point triple-double. So he seems to be rolling back into form. Also, someone in James Harden that people may have been a little worried, some owners may be a little bit worried of taking him early in the first round, given his pretty poor start to the season. But again, against Indiana, he had a great game last night. Been struggling to get to the line, as you know, but got 19 free throw attempts last night. So I think owners probably can hold off on panicking for a little bit. I think they should be happy with what should be coming from him in the next couple of weeks. I think he should be back up near the top of the boards, just like Giannis is now.
Okay. So what I noticed that this guy from Charlotte, Bridges, he's doing fairly well in fantasy.
Yep, he's doing extremely well. Miles actually had a contract extension offer from the Hornets, and he turned down their extension. I think it was $6 million over 4 years. Clearly bet on himself, and he does a lot of motivation to play well this year, and he's doing that so far.
Okay. Well, a lot of people bet on themselves, some is lose. So just let's hope that Bridges don't end up losing. What else do you have for us in terms of fantasy?
Yeah, couple guys to look out for. They may still be on your waiver wire. Cole Anthony for the Orlando Magic. He's averaging 18.7 boards assists right now. We weren't sure what his status was going to be coming into the season. We thought maybe he may have been coming off the bench. The coach seemed to want to play on a point guard behind Jalen Suggs, but it appears that they're going to play both of them in the backcourt together. And he seems to be responding very well to that. But he can be a bit injury prone, but I think for now he's off to a great start, so you can probably write in and see how things go for you. Next is Desmond Bain for the Grizzlies. He's playing very well right now, giving you about 20 points and 5 boards. Dylan Brooks is out. I think that's maybe the main reason for the usage, his increase in his usage right now. But his stock is definitely rising quite rapidly, and you should definitely keep an eye on him. If he's available in your league, probably a good idea to pick him up.
Okay. Yes, I am in need of some people in my league. I have my Bridges, yeah, but I need some more impetus to get to the top of the league. So, anyone else you have for us, Alan?
No, those are the main guys. You could probably keep an eye on Ricky Rubio as well. He's going to come off the bench, and Cleveland has a lot of guys in their backcourt with Sexton and Garland, but he seems to be doing quite well so far. I think they had a couple of injuries as well. So if there's someone else you may want to look at, particularly if you want someone at that point guard spot, Ricky Rubio is someone else you can look at.
Okay, all right. So you got to hear first court session from the Bajan Scout, Alan Pinder, and I thank him, and we will see you next week. Right, so now we're here with the two Avengers, Tehron King and Kelan Phillips. Before we get into the NBA, there was we got some mail in the mailbag. A subscriber wanted to know where is Zaire. I just want to let you know that Zaire was taken up by ESPN, and he's now working with them. He's doing aerial photography and stuff. So you'll be seeing him doing. He will make a guest appearance on the show a couple of times during this season, but it will be here with me and the Avengers. So here we go. First, Kelan. Now in the West, I noticed a couple of trends. Right now, Lakers can't guard a doorway if you give them a gun and a baton. They are giving up 112 points and scoring 112.6. They have a 4-3 record. So what do you think is the problem there with the Lakers there, Kelan?
Yeah, I just said they ain't playing no defense. I mean, like, it's really bad. Now, I blame a couple people. I know the common thing is, I know the first thing everybody thinking, Westbrook. He is at fault, yes, but it's not 100% his fault. And the reason it's his fault is I also blame the coaching. Now, this is a Westbrook first year in the league. We all know what type of player Westbrook is. Westbrook can't really shoot, like he's the out of control, blah, blah, blah. So I would think as a coach, you would put your players in the best situations for them to hide their flaws, right? Starting DeAndre Jordan, a non-shooting center, along with Anthony Davis, who's not really the greatest outside shooter, and LeBron James is a recipe for disaster with Westbrook. There is no space at all, none. There's no space. So you have a guy who's not even rebounding, because when they check the stats, they're 25th in rebounding. So they ain't even like he doing that. So I wonder what was his purpose really on the court besides the Lakers signing, so they figured out they got play. Honestly, I not understand any reasoning why they got DeAndre Jordan after already having Dwight Howard. I would personally, I would start AD at center. I think I have another shooter like Carmelo, or even if you want to bring Melo off the bench, Malik Monk or Ray Ellington when he comes back, somebody with more shooting ability, because DeAndre Jordan has as much shooting ability as Ben Simmons from the free throw line, and we all know how that goes. The first in pace though, which I guess is cool and all, he's running. They're also 25th in turnovers, which means they're running and they get rid of the ball. So they're running one way and getting back twice as far and getting back the next way. So
Well, let me
it's
say
a
that
lot of
they're
things.
still a work in progress. So it's only
Definitely.
7 games, so you can't really write
It's
them off. That we'll see what-
small, very small sample size. Very small.
But
So
and another team in the West that really made me raise my eyebrow, the little that I have, is the Golden State Warriors.
yeah.
I watched the Warriors play. You have to love how the Warriors play basketball. I mean, they play
Yeah.
with so much freedom, and Steph Curry always looked like he enjoying the basketball game. Right now, they're a 5-1 record. They're behind Utah. They're giving up 103 points, but they're scoring 110. And so they got a plus of 7.8. But to me, with the team that they have in these early stages, they look kind of, they look really well. And Wiseman has just been cleared to get back to practices, so we'll see how that goes. So, what's your opinion there in the West now, in top tier?
Yeah, the Warriors were, they look a lot better than I expected out the gate. Even though I will say they had a lot of their players returning, and they brought back Iggy, who is basically like a player like from every sense. So he already knows what his system is and everything is about. So they have that on their side. I always tell people that a team takes out like the way how you know the superstar of the team or the main person of the team usually takes on the identity of the superstar. If you look at Magic Lakers, Magic flashy, that's how the Lakers play. Like Bird, kind of that blue collar, hardworking, they were gritty, whatever. Steph Curry, they look like they're having fun because Steph Curry is literally just running about doing whatever he wants. He shot a one-legged 3-point shot for no reason. For no reason. There was no shot clock right now. He just came over and he said, you know what? I feel like I can take this shot, and it's not gonna be a problem at all. I mean, like,
yeah, but if you can shoot like him, you can
shoot for exactly. So they are doing very well. As you said, Wiseman is cleared to come back. So I want to see how they can get him in the mix, or they bring him off the bench, or they put him back in lineup, because he didn't really gel with them smoothly to last year. So and then he got hurt. So then he didn't get any really reps with the team per se. So I want to see how they can incorporate him. The Steph of his career never usually really had a center as athletic as him. I mean, Bogut and McGee, but McGee didn't really play much. So, it is an interesting dynamic for when Wiseman comes back, for sure.
Right, so that is the Warriors, the Jazz at the top of the list. But the best defensive team in the West is Denver Nuggets, and that's a real surprise. That's a surprise.
Telling me, I mean, if I didn't
actually, they are getting less points in the entire league.
Yeah, like if I wasn't paying attention, the Denver Nuggets. Like, if it wasn't actually, recently, cause I think, cause don't forget, they played the Timberwolves the other day, and the Timberwolves only scored like 91 points, so that would have helped them too.
But for the time being, yes, that is the Denver Nuggets, the Warriors, the Jazz, and the Lakers is number 6. And surprise, Phoenix is of the 8, which is there at 10. So there's still a long way to go. It's only 7 games, so I don't expect that the playoffs will start tomorrow. So
it's true.
So we will see what's happening there. Then from the West, while I'm here, could you tell me what is your team in the West for this week?
Yeah. Just one last thing before I talk about team. Anytime I get a chance to gaff at OKC because of Darren Hurley, I will. Even though I will say we did laugh at them and then they beat the Lakers coming back from 26, but they're off to a blazing 1-5 start. So, but they aren't expected to win. So shout out to Darren. But my team of the week, I have the Jazz. I think the Jazz. I was between Jazz and the Warriors. So the Warriors still are doing well, but I think the Jazz had 2 quality wins this week for sure. They beat the Rockets, which is expected, but they beat the Nuggets, who you just said had a very good defense to start, and they beat the Bucks. Even though the Bucks were a little short-handed, that's still the defending champs. They took a tough loss against the Bulls, but the Bulls are showing that they are a good team to start the year, so there's no really harm in that. And my player of the week, I don't think I'm gonna say this name very often, so I'm gonna give him some love early, but he came from the same Jazz, Rudy Gobert. I know people always think Jazz and Donovan Mitchell, but looking at his stats for the week, as they went 3-1, 16 points per game, 15 rebounds, 2.3 blocks. I mean, that's not that impressive, but his defense, if you watch Rudy Gobert and the Jazz play, you see the impact that he has regardless, even if the stats aren't crazy inflated. And he shot 78% from the field. I mean, you can't do much better than 78% from the field. So
Rudy Gobert and then the Jazz.
Jazz, yep.
And then we go over to the East, Avenger #1.
Yes, sir.
And I want to talk about, there's a strange things that are happening in the NBA as yet, because I noticed the Bucks are number 10 as well. They're 3-4. They're giving up more points than they are scoring. But we leave the Bucks. We still feel the Bucks will turn it around and will be in the top 3 in the East. But what I want to discuss is the top 4 in the East. The Knicks, the Washington Wizards, Chicago Bulls, and the Miami Heat. Now, we can say that Washington Wizards, that is a mirage. Knicks, we know Knicks got to shoot themselves in the foot at some point. So we are not going to work with them. But I want to talk about the Miami Heat. And the reason why I want to talk about the Heat is that the Heat is the best defensive team in the East. And they're not only the best defensive team, but apparently they're the best offensive team as well, because they have a point differential of 17, the most in the NBA right now. So the Miami Heat came out the gate with all guns blazing, and they don't have all their guns. So, Mr. King, what do you say about your team, the Miami Heat?
Well, I am saying that right off the bat, it's very evident that our offseason is paying dividends immediately. I believe that their success on the defensive end is a direct correlation of acquiring Kyle Lowry and PJ Tucker, because that starting 5, it has so much switchability. They can switch 1 through 5 literally. Even when Lowry ends up on a big guy, they just help and make those guys just swing the ball for 24 seconds. And I've seen a lot of shot clock violations. The next thing that those two bring, those two are master charge drawers. So that's really helping us to get extra possessions. The next thing that's helping us to get extra possessions is the fact that we brought in Kyle Lowry. He does this thing where even on a score, it's a fast break. He gets the ball in bowling so quickly and just pushes the pace constantly. If it's not a head-to-head pass, he's sprinting up the court. This is the fastest I've seen Miami played in about 4 years. And I love it because I always want to play this. The reason we haven't played this before is simply because we didn't have a point guard, and now we have a true point guard. The scary thing, as you mentioned, is that honestly, this is the worst I've seen my team shoot in a couple of years. This is a team that 2 years ago had to rely on our jump shooting to win basketball games. Jump shooting and Jimmy Butler to win basketball games. And now you have Kyle Lowry, Duncan Robinson, PJ Tucker, who's a known corner threat. Those guys aren't hitting yet, and we are still bullying teams just through our defensive effort alone. Jimmy Bam and Tyler Hero outscoring teams for long stretches. I honestly believe there's no team in the league we cannot hang with when we're playing like this. Those shooters, the thing about our 2 shooters, right? PJ, he actually just not getting many open looks yet. Duncan Robinson starts every year shooting 40. It's just a trend for him. If you look at the last 2-3 years, even his historic year that he was shooting, I think it was last year, he starts every year in a slump. Like it's kind of like a pure, what do you call it? I can't remember. One of those charts that says how your training works for the year. And beginning of the year, person never shoots well, and then mid-season, fourth season, he usually shoots well. Yeah. Kyle Lowry, interestingly enough, I was wondering what was going on with Kyle Lowry and his jump shot. The coach and Kyle Lowry were asked about that in an interview after a game, and apparently it's by design. He's not looking for his shot yet. He's coming in and getting everyone else involved first. And I was saying, well, that's good to say, but you still have to, you're still missing out what you're taking. But the other night, Bam Adebayo was hurt and couldn't play. And Kyle Lowry stepped up, and Kyle Lowry sank like 5 threes or 4 threes. Duncan Robinson actually came alive in that game as well, hit a couple. And not the other pickup that a lot of people aren't really talking about, a lot of people don't know about him. Not pickup, or re-signing actually. Max Strus. He's like a mini Duncan Robinson. Whenever Duncan Robinson is off, he can just step in and do exactly what Duncan Robinson does for shorter stretches as well. So actually, he's even when we were shooting badly, he was the one that was the only person hitting. Really, him and Tyler Hero were keeping us alive from 2-point range. So the Miami Heat had, and the scariest part about it is, Victor
Oladipo still to add to the mix.
Yeah. I actually forgot about Oladipo. I'm not even gonna lie. I actually forgot that he still played. That's a big deal.
Miami filled most of their holes in the off season. I would say the only one they didn't fill was that backup point guard role. A lot of people keep on Twitter, you read it all the time. We need to send it back to point guard. We need to send it back to point guard. We have a backup lead guard. He's just not playing yet. When the only game we've lost for the season is the one where Kyle Lowry turned his ankle in the game before, and he did not play that game. That's the Pacers, and we lost it by like I think 10 or 9 or something.
In overtime. That was the overtime game.
The reason I
remember that game.
Kyle Lowry isn't playing, Jimmy Butler turns into the point guard, and he doesn't look for his shot until late in the fourth. It's a trend I realized over the last 2 years. And taking Jimmy out of that mix, we were down 9 when the buzzer sounded at the end of the game. The very next game, Jimmy Butler drops 36. The next game, he drops 17, 9, and like 4 or 5. Next game, he drops ridiculous numbers again. Jimmy Butler is on a tier, and for all these reasons, actually, Miami Heat is my team of the week, and Jimmy Butler on that tier is my player of the week.
Okay, all right. I could agree. I would agree with the team and the player of the week, because I really think that the Miami Heat, they really look good for real. Because I took a look at them, and they're playing like the Warriors of the East. They're just playing with pace. They're playing fun.
Yeah.
It looks really good, and not only
bullying people too. They're bullying people too.
But the good Warriors were good defensive teams as well. That's the thing.
Yeah, that is true. They were.
But funny enough, right? It's actually been said by our head coach that our system is actually based off of the Warriors system. Our system is literally based off of the Warriors system.
Well, we'll see what happens going forward, because a couple of teams that are ahead of them, well, not really ahead. All of them have the same record. But the Bulls really haven't played anyone as yet. They are not doing too bad.
They beat the Jazz.
They're not scoring a lot. So they give it up 98, but they're only scoring 107. So, it's just +8. And the Knicks are giving up 109 and scoring 117. Now, the thing about that is that as the season progresses, and you don't play a better D, because I expect the D will get better as they go on, but some teams. So we'll see how the Knicks does, because the Knicks they like to shoot themselves in the foot. They just go and find which time they're going to shoot themselves in the foot. Now, as you know, we have a pick 5 going. Last week was a excellent week for Mr. Avenger number 1. He had a perfect week. He had 5 out of 5. Mr. Phillips came back to have 4 out of 5. And I really ranked the rear there with 3 out of 5. So right now, the leader is Avenger number 1. He is 9 out of 10. And I am 7 of 10, and Kelan is 6 of 10. So it's early days yet, like in the NBA, and we'll see what happens. So this week, we have 5 more in our pick 5. On Tuesday, we have Houston at LA. Houston at LA.
Lakers. I don't waste time. Lakers.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Lakers in that one as well. I think Houston's a bit young, too young for
Okay,
for that kind of
Yeah.
so we'll say all of us going for Lakers.
Yeah.
And then on Wednesday, there's Denver at Memphis. This is an interesting game. Denver at Memphis.
This one is gonna be slightly tougher than the others we've done before, but I'm gonna stick with Memphis. They're coming off a loss. Ja Morant he's still the leading scorer, I believe.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
If he's not
yeah,
leading,
yeah.
he's at least top 3.
Yeah, at least top 3. Yeah.
And if it's one person that can slow down Jokic, it should be Steven Adams. So I believe I think and they have no one to stop Ja either. So I'm gonna go with Memphis.
And you, Kelan?
Well, I gotta do some catching up. So I if Tehron get that right and they get it right, that really helping. So I gotta hold that Tehron get this wrong and they get this right. So I go with Nuggets.
So you go with Nuggets.
I go with Nuggets.
If that doesn't work
your-
out,
Okay.
If it doesn't, you know, but the thing is, right?
win.
I can take this like risk early, so if it pay off,
Boy,
even if I go behind, it don't be too
Right.
bad.
Right. Okay, so
Nuggets are a bad choice.
I really go with Nuggets as well because
Look at that, he going with Nuggets too.
because
he's a
Memphis,
Malaton.
I still feel Memphis will do well, but
Yeah.
I will go with Denver.
Y'all go
On
the MVP?
Thursday, Boston at Miami. I'm already penciling Tehron
I already got the Heat. I ain't missing thing. I ain't gambling on this one.
And I really want to go with the Heat, but it looks so. Yeah, I give it Heat.
Smart man.
Yeah.
That's the league.
On Friday, we have the Cavs at Toronto.
That is actually a tough one.
I
gotta
was
take
saying the
Cavs in that one.
Cavs.
I got to take the Cavs in that one, to be honest.
You take the Cavs?
The Cavs actually look pretty decent. Not going.
Yeah,
not gonna like.
You're
But
tough.
So you going with the Cavs too?
no,
And not
I'm
my
going with the Raptors. I'm
You
actually
going with the Raptors?
The Barnes is
Yeah.
tough too.
I'm
Well,
going with the Raptors.
Wait,
I
is he hurt?
don't know where to go here,
Oh, the Barnes.
so I just do eeny meeny, and I will pick boom Cavs.
Yeah, just
Ooh.
stick with me. No about that.
And
Ooh,
the
who
Cavs.
you asked? I was hurt there, huh?
Is Scotty Barnes hurt? I think I saw.
No. He's playing.
And
Or is-
on Saturday, Atlanta is at Phoenix.
They're not beating Phoenix. They're not beating Phoenix. That team is not beating Phoenix. I'm sorry.
Okay. So
I don't
you're
believe in
Phoenix. What about you, Kelan?
Phoenix ain't really playing all the greatest either.
Okay,
So-
well, I go with Phoenix. So let me hear where you're going now.
They're not going to beat Phoenix. Phoenix is winning that.
I gave it. Gotta go with Ice Three. I gave it the Hawks.
You're going with the Hawks. So Kelan is
With the
going with the Hawks.
Oh,
And
he
that's
just
5 on the pick 5 side.
need to
I
recognize
want to
strength.
thank the 2 Avengers, Tehron King and Kelan Phillips, for joining us here at Court in Session. And right now, Court in Session is adjourned.